Florida State University's Jim Moran Institute in the College of Business is now accepting applications for the Jacksonville Small Business Executive Program. It's designed to help you think differently, to become more efficient in running your business, all at no cost. Classes meet once a month starting mid-August. Find out if you're eligible and apply before July 5th at jmi.fsu.edu. jmi.fsu.edu.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. The sports world keeps spinning and the local conversation continues. Now, Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Wednesday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark right here on 1010XL 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark, the Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you have decided to spend your Wednesday evening with us. We have a ton to do tonight, both in the National Football League, some college football as well, a little NBA. As free agency in the NBA is not that far away. We got a lot of comings and goings from organizations in the National Basketball Association. We'll even mix in a little college hoops as well as the Florida Gators get a recruit. Todd Golden gets a recruit today down there for the Gator basketball program. Here's what the guest lineup looks like tonight. Gator fans, if you missed it last night, Tuesday night's our late night. We understand that. We didn't want you to miss Sharif Denson, the brand new commitment to the University of Florida. We played it one night ago, but again, it was later than usual. So if you missed the Bartram Trail corner, the 4-star Under Armour All-American that committed to the Florida Gators on Monday, we will replay that. A Hacker After Dark replay coming up in about 15 minutes. Sharif Denson, 4-star corner from Bartram Trail, and he will tell you from his own mouth why he chose the University of Florida, why he chose Billy Napier, and what he likes about Napier and the Gators moving forward. Coming up at 8:35, in the interest of fairness, we'll do a little Florida State with Bryant Mcfadden, a former Florida State defensive back. Bryant also won a Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers in the National Football League. You see him all over CBS Sports HQ. You can also hear him with his All Things Covered podcast that he does with Patrick Peterson. So we'll do Florida State and a little Jaguar talk with former Seminole and Super Bowl champion Bryant Mcfadden. That is coming up at about 8:35. In the 9 o'clock hour, we'll get back into our NFC West preview. We've already been to Phoenix. Tomorrow night, we will go to Los Angeles. Friday, we will go to San Francisco. But tonight, it's all about Seattle, and it's all about life after Russell Wilson. Are you kidding me? Is it a complete rebuild in Seattle? What was the reaction the day Russell Wilson was traded to the Denver Broncos? Curtis Crabtree of Fox 13 in Seattle standing by. We will have him on at about 9:15. And then finally, part 2 of our conversation with Brent Beard. You see him on First Coast News. You get him here on Hacker After Dark as we'll dive into the Atlantic Coast Conference. Last night was all about the SEC. Tonight is all about Florida State, Miami, Clemson, and the ACC. And we will do that with Brent Beard coming up at the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour. As always, on Hacker After Dark, we kick things off with a big deal of the night. And Dylan Denmark, let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal? What is the big deal?
No big deal. It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
So I think we can all agree, everybody listening to Hacker After Dark, every Jaguar fan in the city of Jacksonville, we can all agree that the Jacksonville Jaguars are better today, June the 29th, than they were when the season ended on January 9th. And keep in mind, January 9th is when they gave the Indianapolis Colts the beating. It was arguably the best game they played all year. It was probably Trevor Lawrence's best game of his rookie year. But despite that, they capped off a 3-14 record. They were not a good football team last year. They were certainly not in a good place when it came to interim coaches, when it came to the Urban Meyer fiasco. So it was good to end the 2021 season as soon as possible. Now you fast forward almost 6 months. Training camp inside of a month away. Do you realize the Jaguars are going to be playing a preseason football game 5 weeks from tomorrow? 5 weeks from tomorrow, the Jaguars and the Las Vegas Raiders in the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. But I think, again, we can all agree the Jaguars are better now than they were in January. The question is, how much better? It is not hard to improve a roster that won 4 games in 2 years, that went 1-15 in 2020, that went 3-14 in 2021. Keep in mind, something we've talked a lot about, the Jaguars have not won a road game in a true opposing NFL stadium since December of 2019. We did not know what COVID was. We had never heard of COVID since the Jaguars last won on the road in an opposing NFL stadium. That's how far you have to go back. By the way, the stadium they won in, Oakland, is no longer an NFL city, which again adds to the irony of all that. And with 17 games this year, only 7 of which are in Jacksonville, 9 true road games, and of course the London game against Denver, roster better be improved, and better be improved in a big way. So ESPN.com does this about a month outside of training camps opening up. They released it today. All 32 NFL rosters. Who's the best and who's the worst? They ranked them 1 to 32 among the 53-man rosters they are projecting this season. I will tell you, Jacksonville is probably a little better than they have been in years past. But again, that's kind of a relative statement. Because even though they spent all that money in free agency, even though they're going to bring in a first-round pick from last year that never played, and Travis Etienne, 2 first-rounders this year, and Trayvon Walker and Devin Lloyd, you have 3 first-round selections that are going to join this team, along with all the free agents you brought in. ESPN still has Jacksonville number 28 out of 32. Better, still one of the worst teams in the league on paper. By the way, just for your knowledge, Houston comes in at 32, Atlanta at 31, you got Chicago at 30, you got Seattle at 29, and you have Jacksonville at 28. By the way, looking at this list a little closer, I think that might be a little bit unfair. I'm sorry. I do not believe the Detroit Lions have a better roster than the Jacksonville Jaguars. I do not believe the New York Giants have a better roster than the Jacksonville Jaguars. Where are the Jets? The Jets are 24th. Again, no. I do not believe the Jets have a better roster than Jacksonville. So I think 28 might be a little low, but you get the point. They're certainly in the bottom quarter of teams on this list. But when you look at their projected starters, and ESPN does a lot of interesting things here. They give the X factor. Like, they give their biggest weakness, right? They say the biggest weakness is on the offensive line. I would not argue all that much with that. However, I think Cam Robinson is fine at left tackle. You had an all-pro, Pro Bowler type and Scherf from Washington. We'll see about Jawan Taylor or Walker Little at right tackle. And then probably the rookie Luke Fortner at center. Probably Ben Barch at right guard. So I don't think it's a position of strength necessarily along the offensive line, but I don't know if it's the worst position on the team. They give the X factor. I wonder if D-Rock did this. Mike DeRocco of ESPN.com. I'll have to check on that. They did the X factor Andre Sisco. Boy, they love Andre Sisco. National websites, you know what I've found out over the last couple of weeks and months? The offensive side of the ball, they love Laviska Shenault. And the defensive side of the ball, they love Andre Sisco. And I hope everybody's right with the Sisco love. I hope he comes out and does very well. In glimpses last year, towards the end of the year, we did see some signs that Sisco potentially could be a very good player. But the overwhelming point to me is that despite all the additions, and quite frankly, the addition by subtraction, when you talk about Urban Meyer, probably even a Taven Bryan, A.J. Cann, Andrew Norwell, you could argue Jacksonville got better by some of the guys that are no longer here. A website like ESPN still has them 28th out of 32 coming in to this season. And the teams at the top are the teams you would expect. Look, I'm not going to argue this. Jacksonville is not in the same atmosphere with Buffalo, who's number 1, Tampa Bay, who's number 2, the Chargers. Chargers, the third best roster in football? Seems kind of high. The defending world champions, by the way, come in at 4th. And rounding out the top 5 are the Green Bay Packers. It's going to take a lot of work. Couple of years minimum for Jacksonville to be up with those rosters. But I don't agree that Jacksonville's worse off than the 2 New York teams. I don't agree that Jacksonville's worse off than a couple of teams they were ranked behind. So we'll see. We'll see. That's the beauty about it. We're kind of getting down to the nitty-gritty now, man. We're on the doorstep. It's June 29th. They report to training camp on July 24th. What is that, inside of 4 weeks? Inside of 4 weeks till the Jaguars are in training camp. I'm going to get into this later in the program as well. Every year when we go to training camp, I always pick out my guy, right? The guy I'm rooting for to make the team. In fact, I asked the boys on primetime a couple of years ago. I went out there and I saw Andrew Wingard, had no idea who this guy was. Not a clue. I said, you know what? I'm riding with 42. That's my guy. And he's made the team. And he's been here now a couple of years. I remember my other guy, I think Alan Hearns was one of my guys back in the day. I kind of like that. Just pick kind of a undrafted free agent or a guy that not many people know about. Give him a little love on the radio, see what happens. I'm changing that this year. Because I'm going all in on Christian Kirk. I am sick and tired of every single day waking up to articles by Sports Illustrated, NFL-related podcasts, ESPN, CBS Sports, you name it. Christian Kirk overrated this. Christian Kirk overvalued that. I think the headline today was overhyped. Who is the most overhyped player on all 32 NFL teams? And it was Christian Kirk. Look, it's not his fault the Jaguars gave him a boatload of money. I would have taken it too. You would have taken it. It's not his fault that that's what the Jaguars decided to do with their money. But again, this is a guy that's caught 236 passes for almost 3,000 yards in 4 years in the National Football League. Tell me the last time a Jaguar receiver has had those numbers over a 4-year stretch. And I cannot wait. And I hope that here in 2022, Christian Kirk goes out there and catches 85 passes for 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns. And that all these people will shut up about that contract. Get off the guy's back. I am very excited Christian Kirk is here. He is the guy I wanted when free agency started. The Jaguars went out and got him. Did they overpay? I don't care. I don't care if they overpaid. They obviously didn't overpay too much. That's always the funny thing, too. Oh, they gave him too much money. Oh, yeah? Well, they still got Brandon Scherf and Zay Jones and Evan Ingram and Foye Oluokun and Fatukasi and Darius Williams. If they overpaid Christian Kirk that much, then why were they able to land 6 other guys that are going to start for them here in 2022? Answer me that one. For those of you who say they overpaid him, they gave him ridiculous money. Well, they still went out and got a boatload of guys to join him. And they signed their rookie class, and they still have money left over. But every time an overhyped story, an overvalued story, or a guy that's not going to live up to expectation story has come out in the last month, it's been Christian Kirk, and I cannot wait until he goes into Washington on opening day, and he's as good as I believe he will be in this Doug Peterson offense. And then people will finally shut up about his contract and start appreciating the really good wide receiver the Jaguars have here on this roster. Good grief, I'm sick of that. What I'm not sick of is Hacker After Dark here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. We are streaming for your viewing pleasure. Simply go to 1010XL YouTube, the 1010XL YouTube channel. When you get there, like and subscribe, and we're streaming there until 10 o'clock tonight. You can also watch on my personal Twitter, at Ryan Green 1010XL. That's at Ryan Green 1010XL. Florida Gator fans, I understand our Tuesday show's on a little later, so we're going to bring you Hacker After Dark replay. Sharif Denson, 4-star, Under Armour All-American, the corner from Bartram Trail, committed to Florida about 48 hours ago. It was on Monday night around this time. We had him on Hacker After Dark one night ago. If you missed it, we got it for you next. What led him to Gainesville? He'll tell you. He'll tell you all about Billy Napier. He'll tell you all about Cory Raymond. I think you'll find it very interesting. Let's talk with Sharif Denson of Bartram Trail, the newest Gator commitment. That's next here on Hacker After Dark.
No, I like baseball. I just never understood how you guys can spend so much time discussing it. I mean, I've been to games, but I don't memorize who played third base for Pittsburgh in 1960.
Don Hope. Beat you.
1010XL.
See, that's exactly what I mean.
It's summertime and the beach is calling your name. Chris here with Sliders Oyster Bar at Neptune Beach. I want to invite you all to our newly renovated family-owned restaurant that I guarantee you will only be served the freshest seafood in Jacksonville. My family and I wanted to see that our beaches community only gets the best, so we built you the best. Tons more seating, upgraded kitchen, fully stocked bar, and of course, fresh oysters. Come see us at Sliders Oyster Bar in Neptune Beach, locally owned and operated by Safe Harbor Seafood.
If you're living with chronic joint pain in your knees, hips, lower back, and shoulders, I've got exciting news for you.
Emmett Smith, all-time rushing leader and Hall of Famer.
Now you can get relief from pain without harmful medications and surgery. Call my guys at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics specializes in biologic therapies that can repair and restore damaged tissue. I'm talking about natural pain treatments now available, not just for pro athletes, but to people like you.
At QC Kinetics, we're seeing patients every day who suffer from chronic joint pain but who desperately wanted to avoid surgery. We're treating joint pain with biologic therapies, regenerative solutions with long-lasting results.
Listen, it's all about getting your life back. Playing touch football with kids, walking upstairs pain-free, getting back on a job, and patients at QC Kinetics are raving about the results.
QC Kinetics. Call to learn more about restorative treatments that can get you back in the game.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Hey, it's Jeff Prosser. Are you feeling the sting of higher interest rates and higher costs? All those credit cards and other loans are costing more and more every month. Inflation making everything else more expensive. But listen, your home can save you right now. Your home value is up, and there's a ton of cash in it that you can access with Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto specializes in zero-cost cash-out home refis. That means you can get tens of thousands in as little as 2 weeks. Pay off all those 23% rate credit cards and other loans. Consolidate everything into one super low payment. People who do this usually cut $800 or more from their monthly budget. And even if your home mortgage rate goes up a point or so, it's offset by your credit card rate going to zero. Call Loan Pronto now. Unlock that equity and wipe out bad debt. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. So call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey. Obviously, the summer temperatures are already here, and if you're like me, you want that oppressive Florida heat to stay outside the house. That's why I'm such a fan of Pella Windows and Doors. By now, we know that windows are the #1 way that heat gets in and the cold gets out. So when you're ready for the stylish design and energy efficiency that comes from Pella Windows and Doors, we invite you to visit their showroom on Phillips Highway next to Tesla or find them online at PellaJacks.com.
When it comes to commercial fence services, Superior Fence and Rail has you covered. If your business needs automatic gates or security fence and railings, trust Superior with your next commercial project. Superior's team delivers great communication, high-quality products, and exceptional customer service. Just read any of their 2,300-plus reviews.
When you're on the fence about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com. Wholesale prices, premium service. Tire Outlet.
Mike Dempsey here. This summer, go further with Tire Outlet. Visit them online or at any of their 13 locations in Northeast Florida to shop their top flagship brands like Kumo and Yokohama. I literally just purchased my new set of tires last month. Let Tire Outlet find the right fit for you. Visit TireOutlet.com to find your store today.
Wholesale prices, premium service. Tire Outlet.
Upgrade your grilling game to amazing meals with a new high-quality grill from Caladad Grills. Why Caladad? It means quality. Expert grills that stand apart from the crowd, like Traeger, Kamado Joe, and Napoleon. In stock today and built to last. Why Caladad? It's a local family business, so they'll save you money and time with free delivery. Stop by Caladad Grills at the end of Cumberland Park Drive, just off County Road 210. Caladad, they make it easy for you to grill like a pro.
Captain Kevin Favor here, and do you store your boat and boat trailer separately? If so, I want to tell you about Stack'em Storage. They store your boat trailer in a secure warehouse out of the elements, and here's the cool thing. Stack'em Storage will pick up your trailer from you, store it in a secure warehouse, do a 5-point inspection, and deliver it back to you where and when you need it. Call Captain Pat at 962-9605. Use code FAVOR, that's FAVER, and get a $50 gift card to Strike Zone. Visit stackmstorage.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 29, 1961, Willie Mays becomes the 4th player in MLB history with 3 or more home runs twice in one season with a 10th inning blast against the Phillies.
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL. Now, hello. Another great guest on the Farah and Farah phone line. Brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Florida Gators got some good news on the recruiting trail late last night. Sharif Denson, the 4-star corner out of Bartram Trail, commits to the University of Florida, put out an incredible commitment video as well on social media. Gator fans were all fired up. Let's talk to Sharif about his commitment and what led him to Gainesville. Sharif, thank you for hopping on 1010XL, man. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. It's a blessing to be here.
Hey, congratulations on the commitment. I'm sure you saw Twitter last night. Florida fans were, needless to say, all sorts of fired up to have you. What was it about Billy Napier and the Gators that led you that direction?
Man, just I'm from Florida. That's been my school since I was young, and just with the addition of Cory Raymond and the new staff, it was a no-brainer.
And it's so close to home, too, right? We've talked so much about Jacksonville and the surrounding area needing to be Florida's backyard. We saw last year Jack Pyburn from Bowles going there. One of your former teammates, Trevez Johnson from Bartram a couple of years ago. Now you continue that Jacksonville pipeline. Was it cool to be able to stay so close to home?
Of course. And I'm a big family guy. Love to be around the family. So an opportunity that's not too far away from the crib is great.
Sharif Denson, the newest commitment of the University of Florida. Of course, he is a 4-star out of Bartram Trail High School. You know, I say 4-star, and Sharif, I'm always curious when I talk to you guys. That's quite an honor, right? I mean, there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of high school football players in this country, and you are considered to be, on most websites, among the top 300 of that group. I mean, does that ever kind of sink in to you at all? Do you ever think about that?
Yeah, so I don't be dwelling on it all the time, but it's a blessing to be where I'm at. I just can't take nothing for granted. My coaches and everybody who done poured everything into me, that's really like them too. Like, it's a reflection of them. So I'm pushing hard every day, and I'm going to keep the name that I got.
Sharif, a lot of Gator fans that are listening right now might have seen tape from you on Huddle or 24/7. Maybe they haven't seen you play live. What kind of football player are you? How do you describe your game? What's Florida getting in Sharif Denson?
They getting a corner who's going to fly around, a corner who's going to be on the number one wide receiver if need be, a corner that's going to come up and hit something, a corner that's going I could do anything for real in the secondary. So y'all getting a versatile, fast cornerback out of Florida. Y'all know how them Florida DBs be.
A couple of more for Sharif Denson from Bartram Trail on his way to the University of Florida. He made his commitment one night ago. Sharif, you mentioned Cory Raymond, and that's a name we constantly hear in the recruiting game when it comes to Florida, what Cory Raymond brings not only to that staff, but to the Gators secondary. Describe that for us. What do Gator fans need to know about Cory Raymond?
If you don't already know Cory Raymond, I don't know. Like, Cory Raymond got one of the best track records when it comes to how many college DBs he put in the NFL, and not only them going to the NFL, but also them succeeding at the next level. Like, you got to really look at that, because any coach can get somebody to the league, but can they really be in there and stay in there and be like a Pro Bowler? You feel me? Like, he can do all that, and he develops. Like, that's what I'm looking for in a coach, somebody who's going to develop me to be an NFL DB.
You know, similar question about Billy Napier. We know about scared money don't make money, and we see him in the press conferences, and we hear him at the Gator gatherings. But Gator fans have never had the personal interaction like you have had with Coach Napier. What do you like about him, and what kind of led you to Billy Napier and making that commitment?
Just how genuine of a man he is. Like, he really wants the best for you at the end of the day, even if that's not with the Gators. But also at the same time, like, he brought to Florida what the standard that they needed. Like, Florida is Florida for a reason. Like, they should be good. They have the best skill players the best skill players come out of Florida. So he's bringing a standard to Florida that they needed. So he's bringing that Alabama standard for real. Like, he gonna hold everybody to a certain standard, and if you ain't on that, then you just gonna have to get ghost. So he gonna start leveling down the people in Gainesville. He gonna make everybody on the same standard, and everybody gonna be great. It's gonna be competition every day. Like, it's gonna be great.
Sharif, I think you were committed for about 30 minutes last night before you started sending out tweets to other 4- and 5-star guys. And by the way, fan bases love that. I got so many texts this morning. Man, Sharif's already recruiting for us. That guy's awesome. I mean, that's when you are a guy of your stature, when you're a big-time recruit, and you're not saying this. I'm saying it for you. You are a big-time recruit. That's just things that you guys do. You make your commitment, and then you say, hey, let's bring some other guys to Gainesville with me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, that's big. I got to. You want to go to a great team, but you want to have great players playing with you as well. So I'm going to do my best to get whoever they're trying to get, and get some guys that I think that could be good for us as well.
Let's focus on your high school career as we begin to wrap up with you. What did it mean to be named an All-American? I imagine that was a great honor.
Yeah, it was a great honor. It's a great honor, but I don't even be looking into that for real. I just make sure that I'm grinding every day. Every day I got to work out, make sure I'm giving 100%. Make sure I'm out there pushing my teammates. So, it's cool, but just got to know what's the end goal, feel me?
Sharif Denson of Bartram Trail. I'm good buddies with your coach, Daryl Sutherland, out there. What a job he's done with that program for almost over 2 decades out in St. Johns County. Sharif, what have you learned from Coach Sutherland as a guy that consistently has winning teams out there at Bartram Trail High School?
Just Coach Sutherland, man. It's way too many things you could teach from him. Can't even come tell you. But just the main thing that he really preaches to us is that like excellence in everything you do. So you can't just be good on the football field and give 100% in your workouts and give 100% in the weight room, and then go to the classroom and not give 100%, or go to your house that you live at and not give everybody in your house like 100% of your time. And you see what I'm saying? So like how you do one thing is how you got to do everything.
Sharif Denson of Bartram Trail. As we begin to wrap up here, your senior season, Sharif, I imagine this is a big year for you. Bartram Trail historically has been very good in the regular season, deep playoff runs, ultimately have never achieved the main goal of a state championship. I imagine a dream scenario for you would to be going out with that state championship. What are your expectations this year coming into your senior campaign?
I would say our team is young, so like we got a bunch of like our senior class is probably going to be like pretty small compared to what we lost from last year. But all we got to do is just grind and come to practice every day for a purpose. Like if we do that, like we're gonna be straight. We're gonna be good. We got little pieces. We got a QB. We got one person at every level as far as like the defense. So like we gonna be straight. We just gotta make sure we go hard every day and make sure we strive to get better every day at practice, which I feel like we are. So I'm confident about this season.
All right, Sharif, we're the home of the Florida Gators here in Jacksonville. All the Gator games are broadcast on our radio station. A lot of Gator fans listening right now. Any sort of message to Gator Nation the night after or the day after you made your commitment official? What do you want Gator fans to know?
And it's just it feels great to be a Gator. I'm happy to be part of the Gator family. Now let's work. I'm gonna show y'all that like I'm really one of the best recruits. Like y'all gonna get a real life like NFL draft corner out of me for real. So let's work. I'm excited, man. Thank y'all.
Hey, Sharif, always enjoy the conversation, man. Thank you. I know you've been crazy busy the last 24 hours. We'll talk again soon, and best of luck to Bartram Trail this upcoming season.
Thank you. Thank you.
What a week it's been. Again, thank you to Sharif Denson of Bartram Trail. What a week it's been here in the high school community for commitments. It started out on, Saturday with Roderick Kearney of Orange Park, who committed to Florida State. Seminole fans, we had him on the last, on Monday. If you missed that, go to 1010xl.com and the on-demand section if you want to hear from one of your newest commitments, Roderick Kearney of Orange Park. Then, of course, you had Grayson Howard of Jackson, who committed to South Carolina, and head coach Shane Beamer, head coach Shane Beamer. And then you had, as we mentioned, Sharif Denson of Bartram, who committed to the Florida Gators. There are still many commitments to go here in the area, including Trayon Webb of Trinity, who's looking at a lot of schools, among them South Carolina, certainly Florida. I've been told Penn State is very much in the mix there as well. And keep in mind, one of the earliest commitments that we had was Marcus Stokes, the quarterback in St. Johns County at Nice High School. You know where Marcus Stokes is this week? He's out at the Elite 11 camp with the best quarterbacks in the country, including Jaden Rashada, who just committed to Miami this past weekend. And by all indications, Marcus Stokes is doing fine for himself out there among the nation's best. He's right in the middle of the pack right now as far as their scoring system, what he's doing accuracy-wise, all that. And kudos to that young man, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Look, if you're a member of the Elite 11, you are one of the best quarterbacks in the country. He's right here in our own backyard with Nice. He is committed to Penn State. He's committed to Penn State. We'll see what happens there. But as of right now, he is heading to the Big Ten. But I'm very happy for Marcus, and I hope to get him on, if not next week, the week after the Elite 11 has all settled down, to just get his thoughts on the experience out there competing against the nation's best. Florida fans, we just gave you your fix with Sharif Denson. Florida State, now it's your turn. One of your former defensive backs, Bryant Mcfadden. You see him on CBS Sports HQ. You also get him a very cool podcast he does with Patrick Peterson Call it All Things Covered. Obviously, 2 cornerbacks hosting that podcast. You get the name of it with All Things Covered. We'll talk to Bryant Mcfadden not only about Florida State, not only about Mike Norvell and his expectations for his alma mater heading into 2022, but I want to talk to Bryant about the Jaguars. He is one of the main NFL insiders on CBS Sports HQ, and I got to tell you, I've talked to a lot of media guys, a lot of former players in the media. Having the conversation with Bryant Mcfadden about the Jaguars coming into this year was pretty refreshing. He had a lot of things to say that, quite frankly, I had not heard a lot of in all of these conversations these last weeks and months that we've been previewing the 2022 season. He's coming up next. It's Hacker After Dark on a Wednesday night, 1010XL 92.5 FM, Jacksonville. We are certainly glad you're with us. With Dylan Denmark, the Hacker Ryan Green with you, Bryant Mcfadden coming up next.
Summer on the First Coast is sensational. 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Listen up. We want your car, and we're ready to pay more than anyone else. Curious to know how much? You can get an immediate appraisal and same-day cash at any of our stores. Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet will pay what you deserve. If it has 4 wheels and runs, let us take a look. Come see us now. Why are you still sitting there? We're not messing around. Get the most out of your car right now. Come visit us and see what we can do for you today. Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet. We want to wow you and buy your car.
Honestly, this is one of the best jobs I've had.
Drivers and mechanics, listen up. Waste Management is now offering a $5,000 new hire bonus to CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics for job opportunities at our sites in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine.
There's so much more to Waste Management than what you think it is.
Waste Management offers steady work, competitive pay, weekly paychecks, opportunities for overtime, paid training, and a generous food and tool allowance.
Plus industry-leading benefits, like 100% tuition coverage for you and your family, and your home every day.
The benefits were great. They're the best I've seen in a long time.
CDL drivers and heavy truck mechanics apply online today at WM.com/careers. That's WM.com/careers. Search driver and mechanic jobs in Jacksonville, Green Cove Springs, Callahan, and St. Augustine, Florida.
A people-first, military-friendly, equal opportunity employer.
We are WM.
For the month of June, Zero Res has some great discounts on furniture cleaning. Hicken here, how about $35 off a sectional, $25 off a sofa, $20 off a love seat, and $10 off your favorite recliner. Zero Res, man, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Hacker here from my friends at Xfinity with incredible news when it comes to internet. If you want it all just like I do, there's a new way to save with Xfinity. Now get Xfinity Internet with unlimited data, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free streaming box with your favorite entertainment, all for just $50 a month with a 2-year rate guarantee and no annual contract required. Look, switching to Xfinity has never been easier. It's risk-free, and you get all the Wi-Fi power your family needs for a whole house full of connected devices. And with everything you've got going on at home, you deserve internet that can keep up. This is a limited-time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with a stored bank account. New fast internet customers only. Equipment taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Get an incredible value on unlimited internet. Go to Xfinity.com. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit an Xfinity store today.
At Duck Rooter, we understand plumbing issues can be a real inconvenience for your building or business, and we're here to help. We can handle all kinds of plumbing jobs, including broken pipes, clogged drains, line jetting, installing water heaters, and full repipes. Need a camera inspection or a smoke test? Yes, Duck Rooter does that too. Plus, our lift station services include inspections, monitoring, cleaning, and repairs. When you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769. That's 904-862-6769.
Baseball is back. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, takes the field this season at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark as the AAA affiliate of the Miami Marlins. Tickets start at just $5. Fireworks after every Friday home game, and kids run the bases after Sunday games. Call 358-2846 or jackshrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tim Tebow here, and I'm so excited to see you at my event, Faith, Food, and Football at Daly's Place on July 17th. I believe it's going to be an awesome day full of encouragement and fun for you and the family. There's going to be a worship service, a youth football clinic led by IMG Academy, motivational speakers, and all kinds of food provided by local restaurants. Tickets are on sale now at www.faithfoodandfootball.com. Can't wait to see you all there. God bless.
Hi, everybody. Mike Dempsey here for Underdog Fantasy, the easiest place to play fantasy football. Draft your team with no in-season management, get the optimal score from your team each week of the season, and have a shot at over $10 million in total prize money in Underdog's Best Ball Mania 3 contest. Head to UnderdogFantasy.com or the App Store now, sign up with the promo code 1010XL, and Underdog is going to match your first deposit up to $100. Again, Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code 1010XL and draft your Best Ball Mania 3 team today.
Business owner, entrepreneur, CEO. Get expert help working on your business. Florida State University's Jim Moran Institute in the College of Business is now accepting applications for the Jacksonville Small Business Executive Program. It's designed to help you think differently, to become more efficient in running your business, all at no cost. Classes meet once a month starting mid-August. Find out if you're eligible and apply before July 5th at jmi.fsu.edu. jmi.fsu.edu.
Jeff Prosser here. Do you have a damaged roof on your home? I did too, so I had Ken Lawler and his team help me get my roof replaced through my property insurance. Ken, tell us how it works.
Jeff, our team walks you through the process and eliminates the confusion that comes with filing an insurance claim and getting it properly settled. It's all free if we don't recover money for your claim. If you have a damaged roof, call Fifth Element Adjusting or visit FEAclaims.com. If you're happy with the outcome of your claim, Fifth Element Adjusting will not be able to help you. Ken Lawler, DFS number P213199.
Mark Watson for Hardball Creative. Free promo tip. Put your logo on golf balls and give them to clients who are bad golfers. More hacks equals more exposure. Trust me, it's science. HardballCreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Learn what it takes to make a great signal call.
Give me Terry Green right, 97 Busters.
And hear stories from the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Who made that call?
Friday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Honest Abe Roofing, the reliable roofer on 1010XL. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL. Now, another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line. Brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. We are ever getting closer to the start of the NFL football season. In fact, the Jaguars will be in training camp less than a month from now, and the Hall of Fame game, only about 5 weeks away, right? Thursday night, August the 4th, where they will take on the Las Vegas Raiders. Bryant Mcfadden, friend of the program, friend of the station. You know him from his time at Florida State. He is a Super Bowl champion, and you hear him now on CBS Sports and on All Things Covered, his podcast with Patrick Peterson. Bryant, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me.
Hey, Brian, always appreciate the conversation, man. Let's begin with your alma mater. Certainly want to talk about the Jaguars with you as well. But Mike Norvell, entering year number 3 there in Tallahassee, looking to break through. Obviously, the first 2 years have been a struggle. Brian, what's your thought on Florida State entering this upcoming season?
I mean, I think it's imperative for Florida State to be more consistent, to win more ball games than what they did a year ago. And the reason why is because that's the standard of Florida State brand when it comes to football. The standard has been competing. The standard has been being relevant in the thick of things in college football, and that has something we haven't met that standard over the last few years. So this is a huge year, not just for Norvell, but for the entire program. Looking at what they've done recruiting-wise, some pretty good things. Still not where they will want to be recruiting-wise, but yet and still they have taken steps in the right direction. And now the next step, Ryan, is being able to put those success stories on paper when it comes to winning ball games.
Bryant, you set such a high standard. All the guys did in the 90s, the early to mid-2000s, set such a high standard at Florida State. a guy like you, when you see your alma mater struggling like they have in recent times, I mean, that's got to be just a bad feeling, right? It's got to be just kind of a kick in the gut for you, I would imagine.
No question, because, growing up, especially when I was there, when I got drafted in the National Football League, there were so many people that hated Florida State. And the reason why they hated Florida State, it was two reasons, basically. Because they didn't go there as players, or because we won so much. And that was the common theme associated with Florida State, from what I saw when I first got drafted, was that people hated Florida State because they didn't go there, or they hated Florida State because we were always winning. But we earned that hate. That's the hate that you want, because you're doing something good. And now when it comes to bragging rights, when it comes to talking trash, a lot of the alum haven't been able to do that because, we haven't really been that consistent. But also, I can tell you this much as well. We've seen some very, very below average years considering the standard for Florida State. But I'm so optimistic. I believe there is a brighter day coming. I believe we will see a much improved team in the near future. And I'm willing to say this right now. I think those things will be a reality this upcoming year.
Bryant Mcfadden, the All Things Covered podcast. You also get him on CBS Sports. Bryant, final Florida State thought. Are you still with Mike Norvell? I've talked to a couple of alums that like him, but it's about time to start winning. Where are you with Norvell entering year number 3?
I think Norvell is a guy that can change the course of our program. I think we're in good hands. I believe that Coach Norvell has a vision in place, and that vision will only become a reality based on the people that's working with him and based on, the players doing what they're supposed to do. So to answer your question, yes, I am rocking with Norvell. He understands what's at stake. He understands the pressure that's at stake as well. And I think like I said, this is a huge year, for all parties involved when it comes to Florida State. And I think Norvell is the guy that's going to change the course of our program into the right direction.
You can follow Bryant on Twitter at BMAC_Sports Talk. Bryant, I haven't had you on since the Jaguars, kind of made over the roster again. Let's start from the very beginning of the offseason. Obviously, Urban Meyer and that disaster out. Actually, let's start there. As a Florida State guy, when you see Urban Meyer come to the NFL and the nightmare it turned into, what was your reaction to all that?
Wow. You know what? I was concerned with that hire when they made that hire with Urban becoming the head guy in charge for Jacksonville. I was concerned because he just kind of fit the collegiate side of things. But seeing what happened, I didn't think I would see that type of dysfunction, me personally. So I was surprised in that regards. But they're in a better place. And I can tell you this much, maybe going through that Urban Meyer situation was a blessing in disguise, because you were able to land a former Super Bowl winning head coach, a guy and who we all seen have success. He's had success as a head coach in the National Football League, which is with the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's Doug Peterson. So me personally, seeing Doug Peterson get the job, you went through some very, very toxic-like times with Urban Meyer, but I think it all worked out based on the guy you had.
Well, and Brian, we saw what Doug Peterson could do with Carson Wentz and the job he did with a young quarterback in Philadelphia. What do you think Peterson could do with a guy like Trevor Lawrence entering his second year?
Man, I think Doug Peterson can do magical things with Trevor Lawrence based on the talent that Trevor has. And I'll say this, and I said this on CBS Sports HQ a few months ago. I think Trevor Lawrence has the opportunity to be the second best quarterback in the division in the AFC South, just off of year 2. And the reason why I say that is because of the resources they've added. Look at the wide receivers they brought to Jacksonville. You got Marvin Jones Jr., who's still there, who can be an impactful player. You're adding Christian Kirk. Granted, many people felt like you overpaid for his services, but you needed to go out and get these type guys, right? And you had the money available. You also brought in Zay Jones, and then if you look at Evan Ingram, potentially one of the more talented tight ends in the National Football League, but we just haven't seen him put that talent on film. And maybe they can open up his talent level to be a very, very influential player offensively. Not to mention, you get basically another first rounder in uniform in Travis Etienne, the running back. So when you look at all of those resources they've added to improve the offense, along with the individual talent that Trevor has, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see Trevor become the second best quarterback in the AFC South this year.
Bryant Mcfadden, CBS Sports HQ, also the All Things Covered podcast. Bryant, you and I are completely on the same page here. People in Jacksonville were upset at the draft because they didn't help Trevor, and we'll get to your thoughts on the draft in a moment with Travon Walker, Devin Lloyd, and those guys. But my thought was, like you, they did everything they wanted to do in free agency. They bring in an all-pro guard in Brandon Scherff. They bring in Evan Ingram, who I think might be one of the more under-the-radar signings, if he can stay healthy, in the entire NFL free agency period. Christian Kirk is a guy that's caught 256 passes in 4 years. I don't care what they paid him. Sign me up for that here in Jacksonville. And we'll see about Zay Jones. You mentioned Travis Etienne as well. I think they've done a ton to surround Trevor with a much better cast than he's had in certainly his rookie year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I look at everything that Jacksonville has in place right now. Number one, the ceiling is extremely high because you were so bad last year. So the expectations are there at the bare minimum based on what you didn't do last year. But just the team alone will only go as far as the young quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. And you have a quarterback whisperer in place in Doug Peterson. You talked about the pieces. And defensively, you talked about, what they did in the draft. The Jacksonville's Jaguars draft was dead on point. Getting Walker with the first pick, number 1 overall, getting Lloyd, who he was one of my favorite players in the draft, in the end of the second and the end of the first round. I'm sorry. I mean, just those two guys alone, I think will potentially be day one starters for the organization and moving forward.
And you had Devin Lloyd on your podcast. What did you make of him? What did you think of the conversation?
All around good guy. Great guy, high character guy, does things the right way. You don't have to worry about him. He's not a knucklehead. He understands what he's there to do, which is play football, and he loves the game of ball. I mean, he's a physical linebacker, very, very fast, fluid, and he loves just running into people. Those are the guys you want on your football team. I want players, when you look at defensive-minded guys, me personally, I want players that look like what they hunt. That's what you got to go for. Guys that look like gazelles, but they're lions. Because as defenders, that's our job. Our job is to hunt gazelle-like athletes on the offensive end. And if you can find guys on the defensive end that look like what they hunt, you're going to be doing some good business. And they found two guys that look like what they hunt in the first round when you look at defensively for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Final moments here with Bryant Mcfadden, of course, a Florida State alum and a Super Bowl winner in the National Football League. Bryant, you did hoist the Lombardi Trophy, so you're a good person to ask. If you've been in Jacksonville for 3 or 4 years, you're still young in your career, but all you know is losing. I mean, they've arguably been the worst organization in the NFL over the last 3 or 4 years. How hard will it be to get that losing mindset out of their minds if things ultimately start turning around here? Is that going to be easy to do, or is that something that you need to work at as a player?
Well, fortunate enough for me, Ryan, I never had to worry about losing out of my mind when I played, because I played for 7 years and I only missed the playoffs once. So I was always around good teams. But I think the best thing for Jacksonville, the players there that have been accustomed to losing, they have to understand and believe they can win. So many times we see bad ball clubs, they don't actually believe they can win based on the history of their organization or the history playing against certain ball clubs. That's why Jacksonville has had so much success against the Colts in Jacksonville, because that's the one team they face at home where they know they can beat, because they've been able to do so time and time again. So from the Colts standpoint, if you flip that to the other side, the Colts go into playing Jacksonville like, oh man, this is a place we can't win at. So they already go in with that mindset. You know what? We're probably not going to win this ball game. I think that's something that Jacksonville probably will have to do. Go into ball games week 1 against Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
Washington.
No.
Yeah, the Commanders.
Washington.
Yep.
Against the Commanders. Man, we're not going in this ball game hoping to win and hoping that we can get lucky. No, we go in this ball game because we're the better team. We're going to win. That's what we did in Pittsburgh, Ryan. Anytime we played against whoever we were playing against, it wasn't about who we was playing. It was about us. And Mike Tomlin used to tell us all the time, it's a 5-star matchup because we're in it. It's not about who we're playing. It's because the Pittsburgh Steelers are in it, and because of that, it's a 5-star matchup. People come to see us play. Give them their money's worth. Put on the show for them and do so in a winning way. And that was our mindset. We didn't go into ball games hoping, oh, man, I hope we can win or we hope we get in the playoffs. No, we get in the playoffs. It's about what seed we going to have.
Brian, I'm going to give Florida State fans, Jaguar fans, a little info on where to find your podcast in one moment. Before we get there, the corners here in Jacksonville, a position you know very well. Shaq Griffin, Tyson Campbell. They bring in Darius Williams from L.A. Do you like what they have in the secondary room?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I had Shaq Griffin on the podcast as well. So the Jaguars, man, have been real good to me and Pat P joining me on the podcast. But yes, I love Tyson Campbell, a Broward County native, went to American Heritage from the same area. You talk about Darius from Los Angeles, a scrappy corner, man. They got guys with size, with length, with quickness, and with a mindset. And I like what they're doing. I love what they're doing. So I think in the secondary wise, especially the entire defense, we're starting to see a change of the guard in Jacksonville defensively. Get back to what we used to see back when you guys had Big John, and when you had Peterson, when you had I'm having a brain fart.
Well, you had Marcus Stroud, you had Rasheed Mathis, yeah.
You had the safety from Syracuse,
Darius, yeah.
Darius, you had my man from Bethune, Rasheed Mathis. Get Deion Grant. Get back to having those type mindset guys in the locker room. And I think that's what they're doing. And that's the first sign of a good team, was having a good defense.
There's no question. Those Jack Del Rio defenses in 05 and 07, not only did they want to go out there and win the line of scrimmage, they wanted to hurt people. That was a physical defense. Bryant Mcfadden, a lot of Seminole fans listening, Bryant. Obviously, you with CBS Sports HQ, you do a terrific job there. But your podcast, All Things Covered with Patrick Peterson, where can people find that here in the Jacksonville area?
Man, anywhere where podcasts are found, Spotify, anywhere. We also have a YouTube channel as well. If you want to see my smile and Pat P's smile, join us on YouTube, All Things Covered, /YouTube.com. That's where you can find our page as well. We just had Darren Waller on the most recent episode of All Things Covered. I don't know if you know this, but you know Darren Waller is like the 17th highest paid tight end in the National Football League. Did you know that?
Wow, no, he needs to talk to his agent about that pretty quick.
Exactly. But yeah, give us a listen, give us a subscribe, and let us know what you think.
Hey, Brian, always tell you this, man. I think you do a great job. Always appreciate the time. Know you're a very busy man. Thank you for joining us here in Jacksonville, buddy. We'll do it again soon.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
There you go, Bryant Mcfadden. Always love talking Florida State with him. Very high on the Jaguars. You heard him. He's very high, particularly on the secondary. That's a guy that knows a thing or two. He won a Lombardi trophy and was a big part of that Steelers secondary that he played on when he won that Super Bowl. He likes Shaq Griffin. He likes Darius Williams, and he likes Tyson Campbell. The Jaguars, 1, 2, and 3 at the corner position, pretty good. They got some depth there even. I like what they've done in the secondary, particularly if Rayshon Jenkins turns into what we hoped he would be last year. Same thing with Cisco. Jaguars might have a little something working there in the secondary. 1 hour down, 1 hour to go, Jacksonville. We are with you until 10 o'clock. We are certainly glad you are with us here on 1010XL, 92.5 FM on a Wednesday night edition of Hacker After Dark. We are givers here on Hacker After Dark, and my goodness, this weekend, Saturday, what an event coming to TIAA Bank Field. Are you kidding me? Def Leppard, Motley Crue, just to name a few of the ridiculously good rock bands that you will see at the stadium Saturday. Festivities get underway at 4:30 in the afternoon. If you want to go see Def Leppard, Motley Crue, all the bands that will be at TIAA Bank Field on Saturday, July 2nd, simply be caller number 3 right now at 641-1010, and Denmark will hook you up with a pair of tickets to one of the more anticipated concerts that has come to our area in quite some time. Be sure you can go. Again, it's this Saturday, July 2nd. Festivities underway at 4:30, but we got a pair of tickets for caller 3 at 641-1010. Coming up next, CBS Sports put out a list today. It was Jaguar-related, and I hated it. That's next on Hacker After Dark.
Now, 1010XL takes you inside the program director's office with Dan and Jeff.
What did I do?
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Go on.
Ignorance is bliss.
I'm listening to everything you say.
Mornings on 1010XL.
At Key Buick GMC, receive 0% financing up to 36 months on select GMCs, $500 off all new vehicles for all active, retired, enlisted, and previous military. Whenever you purchase a brand new vehicle from Key, whether it's a Buick or GMC, it always comes with that lifetime powertrain warranty. A full allotment is in now and available. So visit the good folks at Key Buick GMC right across the street from Tinseltown, Southside and Gate.
Hey, it's Jeff Prosser. Are you feeling the sting of higher interest rates and higher costs? All those credit cards and other loans are costing more and more every month. Inflation making everything else more expensive. But listen, your home can save you right now. Your home value is up, and there's a ton of cash in it that you can access with Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto specializes in zero-cost cash-out home refis. That means you can get tens of thousands in as little as 2 weeks. Pay off all those 23% rate credit cards and other loans. Consolidate everything into one super low payment. People who do this usually cut $800 or more from their monthly budget. And even if your home mortgage rate goes up a point or so, it's offset by your credit card rate going to zero. Call Loan Pronto now. Unlock that equity and wipe out bad debt. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments altogether. So call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Congratulations to Exit Real Estate Gallery and their continued support of the Jacksonville Jaguars. As a proud partner since 2016, Exit's unwavering commitment to the Jaguars illustrates their commitment to the North Florida community. A trusted local leader in real estate, Exit's footprint spans throughout the region with 7 offices and over 400 realtors to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're looking to sell, buy, or rent local real estate, an Exit agent is always available to assist.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances, that's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less.
Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors and siding.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey for Accelerated Tax Solutions. Who do you trust when dealing with the IRS? You can't trust them to do things right by you. You need a reliable advocate, a real team of local experts on your side, led by attorneys, a group with leadership, having combined 35 plus years of experience helping people just like you resolve their tax issues. Don't wait. Call Accelerated Tax Solutions today. You can trust my friends. That's Accelerated Tax Solutions. Accelerate your tax solutions with Accelerated Tax Solutions.
WJXL FM, Jacksonville Beach.
Introducing the meatiest, boldest bowls ever created by you. New build-your-own bowls at Sonny's. Loaded with your choice of slow-smoked barbecue and favorites like mac and cheese, tots, or new barbecue dirty rice. All layered and sauced to perfection. For limited time, build a bowl or try a new Pitmaster Select Bowl starting at $10.99. Get yours at a Sonny's near you or at ordersonny's.com. Sonny's Barbecue. Local Pitmasters since '68.
What QC Kinetics is doing for people right now is nothing short of amazing. Hey, it's Leon Searcy here. If you got joint pain, any pain, you need to call QC Kinetics. They are the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, giving lasting relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. QC Kinetics is in Mandarin and now in Ponte Vedra as well. They're growing because demand for these treatments is off the charts. Modern advances in regenerative medicine allows these medical professionals to take remarkable healing properties from your own body, concentrate them with maximum power, and put them directly into your aching joints so your damaged tissues can be repaired and restored naturally. So many people in Jacksonville are living their best life again, pain-free, thanks to QC Kinetics. If you have pain in your knees, hip, back, shoulders, don't let them keep you on steroids, and don't believe surgery is your only option. Call QC Kinetics now. It's a totally free consultation in 2 convenient locations, Mandarin and Ponte Vedra. Call 904-274-5522, 904-274-5522.
It's the thrill of the chase on the Nimnik Buick GMC Outdoor Show. Go hunting and fishing with Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Favor, and Captain Kirk Waltz. Saturday mornings from 7 to 10 on 1010XL. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
I want to get into this CBS Sports article that rubbed me the wrong way. Before we do that, I don't know if you Gator fans saw this earlier today or not. We've been so engrossed by football commitments that Todd Golden and Gator basketball had a commitment today from the state of Pennsylvania, if you can believe that. Thomas Haw, 6'9", 200-pound power forward, announced on Twitter earlier this afternoon his commitment to the University of Florida. To give you a little background, he had offers from the likes of Georgia Tech, Illinois, Northwestern, among others. He chooses Florida. Hey, look, 6'9", 200. If Illinois thinks enough of you to offer you, if Maryland thinks enough of you to offer you, come on down to Gainesville, man. I'm fine with that. So, again, Todd Golden starting to establish himself a little bit on the recruiting trail. We'll see where it goes from here, but they get a 6'9" power forward for their class of 2023, Thomas Haw from the state of Pennsylvania. Okay. There are just some things that... So let me take you inside the business really quick. CBS Sports, I love CBSSports.com. I have a lot of friends that write for them. We have a lot of their guys on pretty regularly here on Hacker After Dark. One of those guys is Chris Trapasso, who we actually had on 2 weeks ago. I think Chris does a great job. That's why I enjoy having him on, enjoy the conversations. We'll continue to have him on. But he wrote something today that I actually texted him before the show just to make sure I knew what point he was trying to make, because I didn't want to come on here and blow him up. You're talking dirty to me, and I kind of like it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So Chris Trapasso of CBS Sports, the article ranking the top 5 rookie edge rushers in 2022, who he thinks will be the 5 most impactful rookie edge rushers, which obviously that would probably mean Travon Walker somewhere on the list. Now, in fairness to Chris Trapasso, and one of the things I like about him, he's been pretty consistent with this. When he gave his top 10 Defensive Rookie of the Year candidates, he had Walker listed at number 10. He has made no bones about it that he was not high on the Jaguars taking Walker number 1. But again, you would expect the top 5 edge rushers that are rookies, that Travon Walker would be somewhere on this list. Number 5, Jermaine Johnson, former Seminole, now with New York. Number 4, George Karlaftis of Kansas City. Number 3, Sam Williams, the second-round pick by the Dallas Cowboys. Number 2, Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah, we know him, Detroit. And number 1, Kayvon Thibodeau, the New York Giants. Where is Travon Walker on this list? So I texted Chris before the show and basically said, hey, I'm going to talk about this. Why is Travon Walker not on your list? And Chris got back to me, and he normally does. And again, we'll have him on again. This is not I'm not blowing him up here, but I just wanted to give his side of it. They moved him to outside linebacker, right? And I figure he's going to drop into coverage often. Chris also said, I do think it'll take him a while to be impactful. Fair enough. And look, by the way, Chris is not the only one that thinks that. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of ESPN writers, a lot of Pro Football Focus writers that do believe it is going to take Travon Walker a little bit to become an impactful player. I don't have any issue with it. In fact, I like it almost because it's different, but to not have him in the top 5, look, if you have him 4 or 5, I probably wouldn't harp on it. The fact that he wasn't in the top 5 did rub me the wrong way. Because there's no way you can have a list where Travon Walker is not listed among the top 5 impactful edge rushers. I don't care how often he drops into coverage. He's going to rush the quarterback this year. That's what they got him for, and that's what he's going to be doing in a big, big way. But, look, Jermaine Johnson probably is going to have a good year in New York. I like Thibodeau with the Giants. Certainly like Hutchinson with Detroit. And Travon Walker will be compared to all those guys. And quite frankly, needs to be better statistically than all those guys, or that will continue the conversation that the Jaguars messed up with the number 1 pick in the draft. But yeah, to say that Walker is the 10th most likely guy to win Defensive Rookie of the Year and is not among the top 5 edge rookies coming into 2022, no. I would disagree with that. 641-1010 is the phone number. That's also the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. The NFC West is where we are this week. We've already been to Arizona. Tomorrow night, we'll check in on the world champions in Los Angeles. Friday night, we will go to San Francisco. Tonight, it's all about Seattle. Russell Wilson is gone. Russell Wilson is no longer a Seattle Seahawk. Wow, that sounds weird for me saying it. What about the people that live in Seattle? What are the expectations for the Seahawks? Are they in a true rebuild? What is DK Metcalf's status? We'll get into all that with Curtis Crabtree, our guy in Seattle. He's with Fox 13 in the Seattle area, and he's next as we preview the Seahawks on our NFC West preview here on Hacker After Dark.
The Men in Black and Team.
Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games.
1010XL.
Oh, man, it feels great.
Home of the Jaguars.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the Callaway Trade-In Trade-Up event happening now through July 4th. Bring in any of your old clubs and receive a 50% trade-in bonus towards new Rogue ST Woods and Irons and Apex Irons. Both the Rogue and Apex families are designed with artificial intelligence for faster ball speeds. Swing by Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get your 50% bonus trade-in on Callaway Rogue ST and Apex Irons today. And while you're there, get custom fit for free. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Hey, Hicken here for Zero Res. After long days at work, my family and I love to sit on our favorite sofa and recliner and watch a movie. Kind of helps us wind down from the day, right? We usually pass around some tasty snacks too. That's why we need to call Zero Res and get that furniture looking great again for the month of June. $35 off a sectional right now, $25 off a sofa, $20 off a love seat, and $10 off your favorite recliner. Zero Res, man. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Estate cleanouts, hoarding cleanouts, old appliances, and even tools. There are tons of reasons why you or someone you know may need expert help clearing space. J-Dog Junk Removal will responsibly help you free up space. That means when they leave your place, it looks better. Whether it's you or a loved one that needs one type of cleanout at your home, trust the veterans at J-Dog Junk Removal. Veteran-owned and operated. Call 844-GET-JDOG or visit jdog.com.
Hey, Rural Pest Services here. Have mercy, the heat and afternoon thunderstorms are here. With that, we get the skeeters, or for the transplants, mosquitoes. At Royal, we offer a monthly, bi-weekly, or one-time mosquito suppression service. The treatment process offers up to a 95% knockdown on all mosquito activity. So let Royal help you enjoy that backyard oasis this summer. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
Superior Fence and Rail knows about exceptional customer service. From the first call to the final inspection, Superior's team provides first-class care with great communication, friendly installers, and quality fence products. There's a reason why Superior is the top-rated fence company in Jacksonville. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your new fence today.
When you're on the fence about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tim Tebow here, and I'm so excited to see you at my event, Faith, Food, and Football at Daly's Place on July 17th. I believe it's going to be an awesome day full of encouragement and fun for you and the family. There's going to be a worship service, a youth football clinic led by IMG Academy, motivational speakers, and all kinds of food provided by local restaurants. Tickets are on sale now at www.faithfoodandfootball.com. Can't wait to see you all there. God bless.
Who was the very first superhero? The answer coming up.
Hurricane season begins in June, and now is the time to ask your agent about your homeowner's coverage. It's time to make the change to Southern Oak Insurance.
Our family protecting yours, Southern Oak Insurance.
Superman was the first superhero and made his initial appearance in Action Comics in 1938.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Let's see if they can sit tight on the Roof It Right hot seat. Hot seat with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. Players and NFL experts join Mike and Tony 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL. Roof It Right. Roof It Right so you can sleep at night. This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL. Now, another interview on the Farah and Farah phone line, brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. Our NFC West preview gets underway. We will go to Arizona. We will go to San Francisco. We will go check in on the world champions out in Los Angeles. And tonight, it's all about Seattle. On the outside looking in, looks like a little bit of a rebuild in Seattle. Let's talk Seahawks. Let's look back on the offseason with Curtis Crabtree. He is our guy out in Seattle. You can catch him on Fox 13 in the Seattle area. Curtis, how you doing?
I'm good. How's it going?
Hey, Curtis, we're good, man. Always appreciate the time. And from an outside point of view, like I said, it appears to be a rebuild. Russell Wilson gone. Am I accurate in that? Is that the way it's looked at in that city, that the rebuild begins in 2022?
Yeah. Rebuild, reset, reimagine, whatever reword you want to use. It's probably fair. When you trade a franchise level quarterback away, and you're going to run forward with guys like Geno Smith, Drew Lock, guys of that capability level, it's just natural that you're going to assume that there's going to be a step back there. Now, Pete Carroll is all about competing to win, and I fully expect them to try to win every single game they play, and I think they'll win more games than the general populace believes they will out of pure stubbornness, if nothing else. But they are definitely taking a little bit of a step back and resetting their roster and their approach and finding a way to move things forward.
Curtis, what was the reaction in that city the day they traded Russell Wilson?
It was mixed. There was some, fans that were ready to see him go, that they were tired of the ongoing storyline over the last couple of years of Russell wanting more of this, more of that, and everything. But obviously, when you're trading away a quarterback of his caliber, there's still going to be fans that are going to be bummed to see him go, particularly as accomplished a run as he had here in Seattle over his 10 seasons. And so it's like I said, it's been a mixed reaction in a few different fronts. And some people weren't looking forward to the contract negotiations that were going to come ahead, after this next season. They've always typically done his extensions with 1 year left on the deal. The last two of them have been pretty acrimonious. Russell's agent likes to talk, and word gets around of disparaging comments about the Seahawks, how they're not treating Russell right, all this sort of thing in the background. And I think there was definitely a subset of fans that were just tired of dealing with that and ready for a change. But you're still losing a quarterback that when he's going right has the capability of playing among the top 3 to 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, and you're not going to have that anymore.
Curtis Crabtree, Fox 13 out in Seattle, here with us on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. When you lose a Hall of Fame quarterback, it's going to be very hard to replace them. Let's start with the guys that are actually on the roster at the time we're talking, and then we'll talk about a guy that rumored may be on the roster in a little bit at the quarterback spot. Geno Smith, Drew Lock. There's been a competition, I guess, the entire offseason, Curtis. What's that quarterback situation look like, at least between those two right now?
Yeah, Geno Smith's still the leader in the clubhouse because he's got a year under the offense, knows what's going on. I think he plays at a baseline competent level of football to where they're fully comfortable with him starting games for them if it comes to that point. But they will give Drew Lock the chance to win that job. And, you know, what they do up till this point, these OTAs and mini camps, it's not real football. You're not going to learn much about them at that stage in the offseason. So it's going to come to training camp and the preseason games and seeing them play closer to regular season levels of actual football to get a sense for what they are. If Drew Lock can cut down on the turnovers, maximize the ability he has good arm strength, he can move around, he's got the tools available there to looks like there's a little something behind him, but he's got to put it together on the field, and that competition's fully going to extend all the way into training camp, and we'll see where it shakes out down the road.
You know, I don't know why I thought this, and I was obviously wrong, but I was always under the assumption that Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson might be a combo deal, that when Wilson leaves Seattle, Carroll may go out as well. Is Pete Carroll, at his age, ready to go through a rebuild with that organization?
Yeah, because I don't think he thinks it's all that long that it's going to take to do so. And, I mean, like, you've seen Pete Carroll jump around and how much energy he brings to the table on the sidelines and everything like that. I haven't got the sense that Pete's close to wanting to hang it up. He still loves what he does. So, with that being said, like, tying it to Russell, like, if you want an example of why things went the way it did with him being traded this offseason, go watch the Chicago game from December. It was in the snow, late in the season. They're leading by a touchdown with about 8 minutes to go, and they're facing a 3rd and 4 inside the Bears' 10. I think it was at the 8-yard line. And Russell drops back to pass, holds the ball too long, tries to pirouette back and make something happen, takes a 13-yard sack that moves them back, and they miss a 39-yard field goal that would have made it a 2-score game. Bears go down and get a touchdown, 2-point conversion, win the game, they lose. And afterwards, Pete Carroll's like, Russell's got to throw that ball away. He's got to throw it into the seats so we get our field goal there. And now Jason Myers needed to make the kick anyway. But, you get that field goal there, it's a 2-score game, you win the game. Russell comes out and he's like, I thought it was time to make a play. And it was like, okay, these guys just they are not seeing the game, the way of going about this the same way anymore. Russell wants to be the guy. He wants to carry things. And Pete Carroll's like, the way I play football works. It wins games. It's proven. And they just didn't see things the same way in that regard anymore. And I think that's why, in a microcosm, it's making it too simple, but that's an example of why things came to the point where they are no longer together.
Curtis Crabtree, Fox 13 in Seattle. Boy, whoever gets the quarterback job has got some good wide receivers. Now, look, there was some question about DK Metcalf's long-term status in Seattle. I guess maybe there still is a question about that. Tyler Lockett as well. Where are the two wide receivers? Are they happy? Are they going to be Seahawks, on down the road? Will there be contracts worked out for both of them?
Yeah, I think Tyler Lockett's firmly, I can't remember exactly how many years he's got left under his new deal, but he should be locked up here for a little while. DK is, held out for minicamp, which is certainly notable. But the Seahawks have been pretty steadfast in being like, DK is going to be a part of what we do here. So I think it's going to take them some time to get there, but any player that Seattle has wanted to keep, they've found a way to keep. And I think that's where they'll ultimately end up landing with DK Metcalf.
There are rumors out there about Baker Mayfield in Cleveland. Obviously, the Browns looking to ship him away with Deshaun Watson, although there's issues, obviously, with Watson, including a potential suspension on the horizon. But when it comes to Baker, Curtis, are the rumors true, I guess, that there is mutual interest between Seattle and between Baker Mayfield?
I guess my response to that would be why? Why would Seattle be interested in that? Because is Baker Mayfield truly like leaps and bounds better than what they already have in Geno Smith and Drew Lock? Like significantly so? I'm not sure that he is. I think you can make the argument that he's better, that he's proven a little bit more, and sure, that's fine. And if he was to be released from the Browns, would there be interest? Yeah, I think they would definitely kick the tires and see what they could do, and if they could bring him in for a number that would make sense for them. But from a trade standpoint, I don't think it makes any sense for them whatsoever. To bring on an $18 million contract at this stage, to give up assets to bring in another quarterback for a guy that you're not even sure is like that much better than what you already have, I just don't know how that squares logically to me. With where they're at right now, with the draft pick capital they have for the future, the chance that they'll be able to go get a first-round pick next year, a quarterback in a class that is much more highly regarded than the one we had this season, they can go get one of those top guys next year and add that to the group. I just don't know how adding another veteran quarterback contract to the roster makes any sense right now when you can carry over saved cap space and all of that in the future. I think it makes far more sense for them to run with what they have, unless he gets cut and they can bring him in for cheap and the Browns are paying a salary and they can pay him like the league minimum themselves or somewhere about that, then sure. I think you can circle back to that point. But trading for him in that contract, I don't know that makes any sense for them.
We are very far removed from the Legion of Boom. The defense, how does it look coming into 2022?
Well, they're changing their scheme a little bit, which is, I think, the most interesting thing of going into what they're going to do this year. Pete Carroll's typically run more of a 4-3 base defense, and in giving the reins to Clint Hurt and bringing in Sean Desai, the former Bears defensive coordinator, as an assistant here as well. They're shifting to more of a Vic Fangio-style 3-4 defensive principle. Now, Pete's always incorporated 3-4 principles into their scheme, but they're going to where that is more going to be their base look. And so exactly what they're going to look like, I'm not exactly sure. I think that's going to be a little bit up in the air. Pete Carroll's a very good defensive coach. I think at the end of the day, they're going to play solid football on the defensive side of the ball. It may be a little slow out of the gates, but I think they'll get there. Darrell Taylor had a nice year as a pass rusher for them last year. The two cornerbacks they drafted, Kobe Bryant and Tariq Woolen, I think are interesting guys to keep an eye on for the future. If Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs come back healthy, they'll be big parts of what they do back there, and we'll have to see how it all pieces together. They're going to miss Bobby Wagner for sure. Jordan Brooks is an up-and-coming star at linebacker, though. He should be able to handle a decent amount of that load himself, but they're a little bit thin at linebacker. They're going to need to figure some things out with how they adapt to things, but I think they'll play a requisite level of defense because Pete Carroll's a defensive coach, and they always find a way to play pretty solid defensive football.
Final moments here with Curtis Crabtree of Fox 13 in Seattle. All right, Curtis, when it comes to the division, the world champions are out there. We know how good San Francisco was last year. Arizona looks like they got some problems, but clearly Seattle, like we've talked about, rebuild, reload, whatever you want to describe it. What are the expectations among Seahawks fans, Seahawks media coming into 2022?
Not much. I wouldn't think, because you don't have Russell Wilson anymore. When you have a quarterback like that, you're always going to have a chance, right? And when they don't have that quarterback, it's tougher to see that chance developing this given season. So I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 to 9 wins is where they're going to ultimately end up landing. 9 wins would be like if everything went perfect for them. They get requisite level quarterback play. The defense steps up. Jamal Adams fits into what they do the right way. The receivers have a big season. The running backs stay healthy. The tackles that they drafted in Charles Cross and Abe Lucas are studs. All of those sorts of things. I think 9 wins is probably their absolute ceiling. And that would probably mean that the 49ers struggle. They can't get the quarterback situation right. If they give it to Trey Lance, Garoppolo struggles, gets hurt, whatever the case may be there. Kyler Murray in that situation devolves a little bit in Arizona. The division doesn't end up being as difficult as it could be from the outside. But somewhere, I think, around that 6-7 win range is where I anticipate Seattle probably falling when all's said and done.
All right, Curtis, leave us with this. I didn't intend to ask you anything about the Mariners, and yet one of the better baseball fights we've seen happened this past weekend between the Mariners and the Angels. I got to tell you, you and I were talking beforehand. I'm not sure who 27 is on Seattle, but that guy was livid pissed on Sunday when he went into the Angels dugout. What was that scene like, covering the Mariners and talking about that in the Seattle area? That fight was something.
Yeah, Jesse Winker was extremely mad. And so it kind of went back to, now they've played like 8 games in the last 2 weeks against each other. There was a 5-game homestand here in Seattle the weekend prior where Seattle lost 4 or 5. And then Seattle took the first 2 games down there in LA this weekend. And a pitch, I think it was from Eric Swanson, got up high and tight on Mike Trout on Saturday night. And the Angels took offense from it where it wasn't an intentional throw. Given the circumstances of the game, it would have been silly to assume so. But they came into yesterday's game angry. They scratched their starter so they could put a reliever out first so he could throw it, guys. The umpiring crew had no clue what was going on because as soon as they saw that happen, they should have thrown the starter and the manager out. That didn't happen, so they come back the next inning. Winker gets hit. He gets mad, starts barking at the Angels' dugout. Bench is clear. Punch is thrown. The Mariners are going to come out on the worst end of this because both Jesse Winker and J.P. Crawford are almost certainly going to get suspended. Julio Rodriguez might. Meanwhile, the Angels might lose a couple relievers, and Phil Nevin, their interim manager, might be gone too for a little while. But the Mariners are going to lose a bit out of this wash, and it's going to hurt them because they don't have a ton of margin of error to deal with. And they dug themselves a 10-game under 500 hole that they dug a little bit out of here this last week. And Ty France is on the disabled list, their best hitter, and now they're going to miss 2 more guys from their lineup that they don't have the ability to lose right now. It's put them in a tough spot. But the fight itself was pretty wild. You don't see brawls devolve quite that way in baseball very often anymore.
Yeah, there's no question. Normally when the bench is clear in baseball, some pushing, some shoving. Not in Anaheim this past weekend. That was one of the better baseball fights we have seen in quite some time between the Mariners and the Angels. Curtis Crabtree is our guy out in Seattle with Fox 13. Hey, Curtis, thank you for the time, my friend. Really appreciate it. Best of luck to the Seahawks this year. We'll do it again soon.
Thanks, man. Take care.
Yeah, so interesting with Seattle. I mean, all you really remember is Russell Wilson, right? You got to go back, Matt Hasselbeck, I guess, was the quarterback before Russell Wilson arrived on the scene in 2012. And now he's gone. He's in Denver. Jacksonville will see Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos over in London. But the fact that it looks like it's rebuild time in Seattle, and that entire division too. We've talked to Arizona and now to Seattle. We'll talk to Los Angeles tomorrow and San Francisco on Friday. Clearly the Rams look like they're the class of that division, but they're down in the fourth quarter to San Francisco last year in the NFC Championship game. And then the 49ers kind of blew it, couldn't do anything in the fourth quarter. The Rams come back and win. But of that division, it looks like a 2-team race. Rams, Niners. Cardinals, you don't know what to make of them. DeAndre Hopkins is out for 6 games. Kyler Murray's got contract issues. And then Seattle looks like they're in rebuild mode. But you still have DK Metcalf. You still have Tyler Lockett. You still have Pete Carroll as the head coach. So it'll be very, very interesting to see how things materialize out there in the NFC West. Coming up in just a little bit, Brent Beard, our part 2 of our conversation with Brent. You get him on First Coast News. You get him frequently here with us on Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Last night, it was all about the Southeastern Conference. Tonight, more of a shift to the ACC. I want to talk Florida State. I want to talk Clemson. I want to talk Miami. And I want to talk NC State. I had Eric McLean of the ACC Network on late last week. He told me that his surprise team, not in the ACC, but a surprise team to make the college football playoff. The playoff was the North Carolina State Wolfpack. Whew. That would be something. I'm going to get Brent Beard's thoughts on all that coming up in just a moment. As always, Jacksonville, we are streaming for your viewing pleasure on the 1010XL YouTube channel and on my personal Twitter at Ryan Green 1010XL. That's at Ryan Green 1010XL. It is a Wednesday night on Hacker After Dark. We're glad you're with us. Brent Beard talking college ball. That's next.
Red, 10-10, easy, Duval, let's go, Googans, blue, 92.5, 10.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Have you ever regretted buying a car? Is the idea of shopping at a dealership scary? We want you to know that you don't have to feel that way, and I promise that Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet will provide the wow experience and peace of mind you deserve. We believe that taking care of our team, our customers, and our community is more important than anything. So give us the chance to earn your business and join our 50,000 plus and counting wowed customers. You won't regret it. See you at Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We're gonna wow ya.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you have to drive 300 miles to your cousin's wedding. Okay, so it's his fourth. But you know what they say, fourth time's the charm. Well, here's the problem. Your tires are as bald as I am. But lucky for you, eBay Motors has tires for just about every make and model. Plus wheels, lug nuts, jack stands, and more. 122 million parts. Do they have tissues? Oh, good, because I'm definitely a crier. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Get recruiting tips and advice from area coaches, pros, athletes, and their parents. Plus better ways to train as B3 bettors Jaron Sanders and A.D. Roberts host the Amateur's Edge Show. Saturday from 11 to noon on 1010XL.
Hi, everybody. Mike Dempsey here for Underdog Fantasy, the easiest place to play fantasy football. Draft your team with no in-season management, get the optimal score from your team each week of the season, and have a shot at over $10 million in total prize money in Underdog's Best Ball Mania 3 contest. Head to UnderdogFantasy.com or the App Store now, sign up with the promo code 1010XL, and Underdog is going to match your first deposit up to $100. Again, Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code 1010XL and draft your Best Ball Mania 3 team today.
Business owner, entrepreneur, CEO. Get expert help working on your business. Florida State University's Jim Moran Institute in the College of Business is now accepting applications for the Jacksonville Small Business Executive Program. It's designed to help you think differently, to become more efficient in running your business, all at no cost. Classes meet once a month starting mid-August. Find out if you're eligible and apply before July 5th at jmi.fsu.edu. jmi.fsu.edu.
Hey, this is Ken with Fifth Element Adjusting. Let my team and I ensure your insurance claim is settled properly. We even helped Jeff Prosser get his roof replaced in 2016.
Thank goodness I had Ken Lawler and his team help me navigate the claim process. They did everything for me, filed it, scheduled it, completed it, and established a settlement. I got my damaged property replaced and got back to my life.
So call Fifth Element Adjusting or visit feaclaims.com. If you're happy with the outcome of your claim, Fifth Element Adjusting will not be able to help you. Ken Lawler, DFS number P213199.
Men suffering from PE or ED? Has Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra let you down? Regardless of your age or past medical history, you'll see results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center or you pay nothing. Guaranteed. Call us at 664-8217.
Captain Kevin Favor here, and do you store your boat and boat trailer separately? If so, I want to tell you about Stack'em Storage. They store your boat trailer in a secure warehouse out of the elements, and here's the cool thing. Stack'em Storage will pick up your trailer from you, store it in a secure warehouse, do a 5-point inspection, and deliver it back to you where and when you need it. Call Captain Pat at 962-9605. Use code FAVOR, that's F-A-V-E-R, and get a $50 gift card to Strike Zone. Visit stackmstorage.com.
If you're living with chronic joint pain in your knees, hips, lower back, and shoulders, I've got exciting news for you.
Emmett Smith, all-time rushing leader and Hall of Famer.
Now you can get relief from pain without harmful medications and surgery. Call my guys at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics specializes in biologic therapies that can repair and restore damaged tissue. I'm talking about natural pain treatments now available, not just for pro athletes, but to people like you.
At QC Kinetics, we're seeing patients every day who suffer from chronic joint pain but who desperately wanted to avoid surgery. We're treating joint pain with biologic therapies, regenerative solutions with long-lasting results.
Listen, it's all about getting your life back. Playing touch football with kids, walking upstairs pain-free, getting back on a job, and patients at QC Kinetics are raving about the results.
QC Kinetics. Call to learn more about restorative treatments that can get you back in the game.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
Are you ready to play this summer? Come check out the Y. The First Coast YMCA is not only your home for health and wellness, it's also a place for the kids to explore, to learn new things, and to expand the limits of their imaginations. At the Y Summer Camp, every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, and outdoor games. Space is limited, and registration is now open. Visit fcymca.org and search for summer camps. See you at the Y.
I'm Hayes Carline, and what I say goes. Listen to my closing argument presented by the personal injury law firm of Harrell & Harrell weekdays on The Frangie Show. Can you handle the truth?
This 1010XL 92.5 FM hour is powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL. Now, hello. Another great guest on the Farah and Farah phone line. Brought to you by the accident attorneys at Farah and Farah.
Part 2 of our conversation with Brent Beard of First Coast News. You also get him very frequently here on Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. Brent, last night we spent a lot of time in the Southeastern Conference talking about the Gators, talking about the dynamic in the conference. I want to focus a little bit tonight on Florida State, on Miami, and on the Atlantic Coast Conference, a conference that, again, appears to be down, but you look at it, Wake Forest was very good last year, a lot of talent back. I've heard people, Brent, including Eric McLean of the ACC Network, who I had on last week, very high on what's going on in Raleigh with North Carolina State, even saying as much as, could they be a potential sleeper for a playoff spot this year?
I don't know if I would go that far, but because they are in the Atlantic with Clemson, I still think Clemson has the best roster. Now, Clemson's got a big problem at quarterback, but with the other positions, I still think they've got the better line of scrimmage. Clemson's defensive line is one of the best defensive lines that you'll see this year, short of the NFL. I mean, they are that good. But I get with Devin Leary the excitement for NC State. I think this is going to be a very good team. I mean, their offensive line, they've got seniors and juniors at this point where they have built it. Thayer Thomas, Devin Carter, wide receiver. I think that they're well thought of. I think that they've got 10 guys coming back on defense. That's quite impressive. Also, schedule, I think, sets up well. Huge game at Clemson on October the 1. But before then, East Carolina, Charleston Southern, Texas Tech, and Connecticut. Heck, you think they can work the bugs out during the month of September before they play Clemson?
Yeah, no question about that. And keep in mind, too, one of my favorites here locally, Caden Fordham from Bowles, is now up at North Carolina State. He redshirted last year, and he'll have a role this year, certainly, on special teams. Brent Beard here with us. Brent, let's dive into Miami and Florida State. Let's begin in Tallahassee. You know, has upset, and we talked about this last night, as upset as Gator fans were that they didn't land Roderick Kearney, the four-star offensive lineman from Orange Park High School, the bottom line is Florida State did get him, and it was certainly a great get for Mike Norvell and the Seminoles.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about that. Look, I would say right now that they're making progress, and they've got to make progress on the offensive line. Kearney is 6'4", 300, and I've heard good things about him. I've seen him play. He's a big-time player. Now, the thing they've also done is they've made some hay in the transfer portal. Caden Lyles is a redshirt senior out of Wisconsin. They've got another guy, Justin Turdine, who actually came out of South Carolina. He had 10 starts. And, Jordan Travis, I think, is going to be very good, frankly, or he's going to be better. They felt really good about him over the summer coming back and leading them. So I think they're fine with that now. But, heck, what I've been told by FSU people that I trust is, again, their weak link's the offensive line. But they do feel better about what they've done with the transfer portal. And one of the big things for them last year was just the fact that when they lost one of their starters, they lost every game last year when one of the starters on the offensive line was out. But the thought process is this year that they've got enough depth, and they would say quality depth on the offensive line to where they feel better about that situation. Now, Hack and I aren't saying they're going 12-0, but Hack, at this point, would I think they'd give a lot for an 8-4 or even a 7-5, would they not?
Well, with that schedule, they certainly would. And here's Florida State's problem. And look, it's the problem that they've had with Willie Taggart and now Mike Norvell. They're not beating teams they're supposed to beat. And you look at that schedule, and I don't know, Brent, if they're supposed to beat Wake Forest this year. I don't know if they're supposed to beat North Carolina State this year. And then you look, and you still got Miami. You still got Clemson. You still got Florida. You got LSU in New Orleans. Boston College is another one. To me, Florida State's season is very simple. If you go to a bowl game, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, if you go to a bowl game, it's a success. If you don't go to a bowl game, to me it's a failure, and it's pretty much that cut and dry.
Well, what I've been told is they just, at this point, they're going to ride with Norvell and hope to see incremental improvement. Now, they're not happy about that, but I think they do have some confidence in Norvell. But Hack, what I've been told is they just don't have the money right now to fire him and hire somebody else. That's just the bottom line. So the thing they're hoping for is consistent improvement. But see, what you touched on, frankly, is the secret of the season. Now, people may not even know this, but they start week 0 with Duquesne.
Oh, what a battle that's going to be at Doak Campbell Stadium.
Well, that's going to be exciting. But here's the reality of it. They wanted to get a game under their belt before they played LSU in New Orleans on Labor Day weekend. So I think there's probably some wisdom in that. But see, the thing you talked about is what's going to make their season. Can they beat BC, Wake Forest? Can they beat Georgia Tech? Can they win at Syracuse?
I think the Louisville game, Brent's enormous the week after LSU. That is an enormous game.
There's no question, and that's why they've got to come out of that game healthy. So, Heck, I think both of us agree that the 50-50 games are what's going to determine their season.
Brent, I want to get to Miami, and we got to go kind of quick here, but last thought on Florida State. I mean, I literally just talked to you about them going to a bowl game being a successful season. I mean, how did we get here with Florida State? Texas is another one. You probably lump Tennessee in there. I mean, Florida's had 4 and 8 years, but they've always rebounded. It doesn't appear that Texas and Florida State and Tennessee, at least for a while, got up off the mat. Why are programs like that still where they are years later?
Well, I think part of the Florida State situation is toward the end of Jimbo's tenure, it started really going down. They quit developing players and they quit recruiting like they needed to. Some of that carried over, and they were hoping Willie Taggart was going to be successful. Unfortunately, he was an absolute disaster. So they're still recovering from that to a point. And again, I don't want to make this offensive line a scapegoat for everything, but unfortunately the problem is a lot of that has been. Now, with schools like Texas, it's more off-the-field stuff and having too many cooks in the kitchen as far as NIL, people who think they own the program, and things of that nature. And we don't know if they found the right coach yet in Sarkisian. Hopefully he'll be successful. But to your point, listen, it takes, as you well know, it takes years to overcome average to poor recruiting and lack of development, and that's what we're seeing in a lot of these schools.
Final moments here with Brent Beard. You get him on First Coast News. You also get him very frequently here on 1010XL on Hacker After Dark. All right, Brent, let's end in Coral Gables. There's no doubt Mario Cristobal has come in, and he has made an impact. Jaden Rashad, the quarterback from California, amidst many other recruits. As you mentioned, though, and Miami fans might, do a deep sigh and whatever about this statement, Florida on most of the recruiting websites is still higher than Miami in the rankings for whatever that's worth. But clearly, it appears Cristobal is making waves down in South Florida right now.
Well, he is, and Cristobal is a good, solid coach. And see, the other thing they did that was really helpful, they brought back also Alonzo Highsmith. He's the general manager of football operations. And to me, the big guy that they brought back that's going to pay dividends is Dan Radakovich, who is at Clemson. And see, you need administrative guys like this who are an integral part of your program, who are going to make a humongous difference. But here's what's different about Miami is Tyler Van Dyke. Tyler Van Dyke may be, and this is arguably the case, maybe the best quarterback in the conference. My understanding is he has improved dramatically during the off season as far as working on footwork, the mental approach to the game, just all the aspects that you get with a quarterback. So offensively, they're going to be very good. But here's the problem. They're not very good defensively. They're going to have to depend on a lot of transfers, like on the defensive line, Chance Williams, who is coming in. Tyreek Stevenson at quarterback, I think is going to be very good. But Miami beat writers would tell you that defensively they've got a lot of work to do. Now, a humongous game for them is September 17th at Texas A&M. That's going to be one of the better games, frankly, that will be going on that day.
That's a big game for the ACC too, Brent.
It is. There's no question about that. And then in October, North Carolina, Virginia Tech, Duke, and Virginia. That's going to be very important for them. So my thing is they've got the quarterback. That's going to be huge for them if they can keep him protected and keep him healthy. Van Dyke's going to win a few games on his own. I can tell you that. But, heck, again, the question is you got to have a defense, and their season, to me, will be determined on if they can cobble one together as the year goes along.
Brent Beard, you get him on First Coast News. You get him also right here on 1010XL. Brent, this is hard to believe. The next time you and I talk, it'll be the month of July, and we will be about 6 weeks or so away from college football. We are on the doorstep, and like you said, Media Day is right around the corner.
Can't wait. That's going to be a lot of fun in Atlanta. But, instead of players getting in trouble in expansion conferences and things like that, it's been the off season of the NIL and the transfer portal. And as you said a few minutes ago, SEC Media Days and the season coming up, starting with week 0, that's going to save us. We can't wait to that, can't we?
Yeah, I'm at the point now I just want to see a 3rd and 7 at the 32-yard line. My needs are small at this point. Hey, Brent, always enjoyed the conversation, buddy. Thank you very much. We'll talk in a couple of weeks.
Can't wait, bud. Take care.
Well, there you go. There's our conversation, part 2, with Mr. Brent Beard. You heard part 1 last night regarding the Southeastern Conference tonight. Spent a lot more time on the ACC, Florida State, and Miami. Boy, Miami's picking up a lot of steam on the recruiting trail. Things are going very well, it appears, for Mario Cristobal down in South Florida. For Florida State, it's not all bad either. Again, Roderick Kearney out of Orange Park. Florida State starting to gather a little momentum as well on the recruiting trail as we get ever closer to the 2022 college football regular season. Against Seminole fans, we're inside of 2 months before you take the field at Doak Campbell Stadium against Duquesne there for the season opener on Saturday, August the 27th. That'll just about put a wrap on what was a very busy Wednesday night edition of Hacker After Dark. We have a lot of people to thank. Our NFC West preview continued tonight. We went to Seattle. Curtis Crabtree of Fox 13 in Seattle. Look, the bottom line for the Seahawks, it does appear to be rebuild mode now that Russell Wilson has moved on, but you still have Pete Carroll. You still have DK Metcalf. You still have Tyler Lockett. There are still pieces there. It'll be interesting to see how Seattle does post Russell Wilson here starting in 2022. Of course, Gator fans, we gave you a Hacker After Dark replay of Sharif Denson, your newest commitment from Bartram Trail High School. Again, if you heard that conversation, I was very, very impressed with Sharif. Good luck to him at Bartram Trail this year and with his commitment to the University of Florida. My friend Bryant Mcfadden, he is outstanding. CBS Sports HQ, former Florida State defensive back, former Super Bowl champion in the National Football League. He also has his podcast, All Things Covered with Patrick Peterson. If you missed any of the Bryant Mcfadden interview, we touched upon Florida State and Jacksonville. Thought he did a very, very good job, particularly talking about the Jaguars. Bryant Mcfadden seems very high on the Jaguars coming in to 2022. And as always, we just finished with Brent Beard of First Coast News, and you get him regularly here on Hacker After Dark, both last night and tonight, talking all things college football.
When choosing the right septic tank installation company, choose wisely. Duck Duck Rooter is the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida. They're fully licensed and insured. From installing septic tanks, dosing tanks, drain fields, to getting required permits. You want the best in the business. Trust your septic project to Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services.
When you're stuck, call the duck. 904-862-6769.
All over the First Coast, you see a Circle K that's close to home or work. And when you're craving a cold Bud Light, make sure you head into Circle K. Check out all the great specials. Whether it's the 16-ounce aluminum bottles or a 24-pack of Bud Light, it's all at Circle K.
With your home value up again, you're sitting on a pile of money. Don't just let it sit there. Use it. Hey, it's Prosser here from my friends at Loan Pronto. Introducing Loan Pronto's Equity Line of Credit program. You don't have to refinance, but you can access up to 97% of your home's value. Get cash now to pay off all your credit cards or do that home improvement project. Get your down payment for a new home or stash away for a safety net. You can get $50,000, even $100,000 or more out of your home, and the payments are crazy low. Think what you can do with $100,000 right now. Loan Pronto makes unlocking your equity easy, and they could probably even waive the appraisal. Don't just let all that home equity pile up. Turn your house into an ATM machine and get that cash you need. Call Loan Pronto now, 904-999-1508, 904-999-1508, loanpronto.com or 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL FM, Jacksonville Beach.
Are you looking to be a part of a company where you feel respected and your efforts will be recognized? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. We're hiring professional painters and trainees who are friendly and have an eagerness to learn and grow. If you don't take yourself too seriously, but do take your profession seriously, you're likely to be a good fit here. Great pay, paid time off, medical, dental, and a company-matched 401k are just a few of the benefits waiting for you at Performance Painting. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting, quality coatings applied with pride.
Equal opportunity employer.
Introducing the meatiest, boldest bowls ever created by you. New build-your-own bowls at Sonny's. Loaded with your choice of slow-smoked barbecue and favorites like mac and cheese, tots, or new barbecue dirty rice. All layered and sauced to perfection. For limited time, build a bowl or try a new Pitmaster Select Bowl starting at $10.99. Get yours at a Sonny's near you or at ordersonny's.com. Sonny's Barbecue. Local Pitmasters since '68.
When you owe the IRS and can't pay, call J. David Tax Law for effective tax representation. Never trust your tax problem to a so-called tax resolution company that doesn't employ attorneys. We are a firm of experienced tax attorneys that has successfully represented over 10,000 clients. Call 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777. Or visit jdavidtaxlaw.com to